Peace fam, what's good? It's your man Ocean. We back at it. Freedom fight continues. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for tuning in to the OMN network, seeing what we got on schedule today. Now today we got, go ahead and like, subscribe, share my video as soon as you come in the room. I also very much would appreciate that. Now today we got another sick individual that we're gonna discuss a little bit. We got an article out of the Associated Press. It says that former Kansas detective and 3 others accused of sex trafficking. So yeah, we got that going on. Federal prosecutors say a Kansas City detective and 3 other men ran a violent sex trafficking operation that targeted troubled teenage girls at an apartment complex in Kansas City in the 1990s. And he just now getting indicted in 2022, so that like 30 years of this shit. Look at him. That's the picture of a devil right there. That's a real devil right here, live in the flesh. At least 30 years worth of devilish work that he did out here in the world before it even possibly caught up with him. So you can't reverse all the shit that he done did. Former detective Roger Gillespie, who has been accused of preying on black women and girls, yes, black women and black girls, for decades while he was a Kansas City, Kansas officer, was one of the men charged in the grand jury indictment unsealed Monday. Gillespie, Cecil Brooks, Lamarck Robinson, and Richard Robinson were charged with conspiracy against rights and 2 counts of involuntary servitude. Involuntary servitude, bro. Do you know that just sound so moralist and just all messed up? Involuntary, that's basically slavery. That's what that is. I mean, you think, yeah, that's what involuntary servitude is, slavery. So add the SCX on there. Gillespie, 69, has been on home detention since being indicted. Why he ain't in jail? Since being indicted in September on 6 federal charges in a separate case accusing him of assaulting women and girls. Chris Joseph, one of his attorneys, said that Gillespie remained on pretrial release Monday. He should be locked up with all the killers and all the RAP words and all the savages and all the fucked up people. Robinson was arrested and the government is asking that he remain in custody prior to trial. Brooks is incarcerated at the Federal Medical Center in Fort Worth, Texas, where he is serving time for drug trafficking. It was not immediately clear if Robinson was in custody Monday. The indictment alleges that between 1996 and 1998, Brooks, Robinson, and other unknown people sexually assaulted 3 young women to coerce them into providing sexual services to men at the Devon Apartments in Kansas City, Kansas, which Brooks operated. Let's continue reading. It says Gillespie, who was an officer at the time, is accused of taking bribes to provide protection from law enforcement and of one young woman. So I'm sure it was more than one young woman that he did R-word to, allegedly. That's just how I feel about it, cause he just, look at him. He looked like he did it. I'm sure he did it. According to the indictment, the victims were young girls who were runaways who had recently been released from the Beloit Juvenile Correctional Facility, or who came from broken homes. Most ranged from the ages of 13 to 17. So he liked them young and tender and sweet, just like a good old devil. The defendants also provided drugs to young girls who they knew were addicted, prosecutors said. Just 35 foul people. Probably arrest somebody for their drugs, charge them for their drugs, slip him back out the evidence room, back in his pocket, and go trick off with the young girl with it. It's just nasty and awful. Daniel Thomas, a spokesperson A spokeswoman for the U.S. Attorney's Office, Kansas, said in an email that the office does not discuss pending cases as a matter of policy. Nancy Chartran, a spokeswoman for the Kansas City, Kansas Police Department, said that the department is fully cooperating with all agencies involved in investigating Gillespie. Joseph said in an email statement, Roger maintains his innocence and looks forward to clearing his name yeah, right, from these decade-old and uncorroborated allegations. Yeah, right, nigga. We know you did this shit. Then, allegedly. The indictment does not name attorneys for the other 3 defendants. The indictment alleges that one of the apartments was used as an office to store guns, drugs, cash, and other criminal acts. The defendants also met with Gillespie in the office according to the indictment. The girls were often locked in the office unit and would be forced to provide sex acts for the defendants. Forced. Yes, the word forced. Young girls were held in the apartment at the complex, including one known as a relaxed area where the girls used alcohol and drugs with Brooks, Robinson, and Robinson. At another unit known as the working house, girls were forced to perform sex acts for other adult men who paid Brooks, Robinson, and Robinson, according to the indictment. So they just had a whole little, you know what I'm saying, a whole little black market ass shit going on, whole little dirty ass shit going on with these folks. Just basically a crime wave that they had going on. On multiple occasions, Gillespie, who is white, visited the working house and was allowed to choose girls to provide him with sex, generally choosing black girls ranging from the age 13 to 17, the indictment says. He is accused of R-word, a 16-year-old girl. The indictment details the case of a young girl Robinson met after he was released from Beloit, after she was released from Beloit Juvenile Correctional Facility, a now closed juvenile facility for girls, and whose mother, who had died of suicide. According to the prosecutor, she was raped. Oh my fucking God, I'm sorry, I didn't supposed to say that word. She was R-word, threatened, and beaten at one point, dragged down the stairs by her hair. When she eventually escaped, she went to the hospital and was diagnosed with an 8-week ectopic pregnancy, a life-threatening condition in which a fertilized egg implants outside the uterus. Another girl who left Beloit Juvenile Correctional Facility and had nowhere to live was taken to the apartment where she also was beaten, threatened, and forced to provide sex to men. That is the girl Gillespie is accused of doing the R-word to. In 2015, affidavit from retired police officer Ruby Ellington described Brooks as a major drug dealer. Ellington said the department tried many times to arrest Brooks when she was working narcotics, but never successful, and it was apparent that the officers inside the police department were warning Brooks ahead of raids. Yes, of course, these dirty motherfuckers, they be involved in everything. They got their hands in everything. If convicted of the new charges, each suspect faces a maximum of life. They deserve it in prison. The September indictment accuses Gillespie of sexually assaulting and kidnapping a woman and teenager. Although prosecutors said he also assaulted other women, he pleaded not guilty to those charges, and a judge released him to home detention. Of course, the judge released him to home detention, saying Gillespie suffers from significant health issues. Well, he should have thought about that them 30 years when he was out there doing bodily harm and physical and mental harm to them young girls. I think civil rights groups in Kansas City, Kansas are long sought an investigation into Gillespie, who they accused of targeting black females for sex, sometimes threatening to have relatives jailed if they did not submit. So do you see the filthy, nasty, dirty games that this man play? He just a filthy, nasty old man, dirty man, been dirty. That probably be the main reason why he joined the police, so he can chase down a young black girl. The allegations gained attention after Lamont McIntyre, who spent 23 years in prison for a double M word he didn't commit, sued Gillespie and other Kansas City officers. McIntyre and his mother, Rose McIntyre, alleged that Gillespie framed Lamont in 1994. I told you he was up to way more shit than just this, because his mother refused to detect. God damn! Because the mother refused his sexual demands, he framed her son and got the man to serve 23 years in the joint. So he just a messed up person, man. And you know, I'm not God. I don't know what you know what I'm saying, the afterlife holds for him. But if I was God, goodness, the afterlife would start for, I don't know, it'll be too easy to knock him off right now. He need to go somewhere and suffer. He need to go somewhere and sit down and suffer for a while. So if I was God, that's what I have in his plans. He'll have to go suffer for about, I let him live till he was 120. Life in prison. That's what I would do if I were God. But I'm not God. Anyway, the local government agreed in June to settle the lawsuit for $12.5 million. We are grateful for the continued vigorous efforts of the federal law enforcement to hold accountable anyone responsible for such horrific crimes, which targeted the most vulnerable of victims. Justice demand nothing short of full truth, so that the important process of repair and reconciliation, I'm glad they put that word repair in there, reconciliation can begin, according to a joint statement issued by the Midwest Innocence Project and a law firm that secured the $12.5 million settlement. So with that word repair, so that's what I'm saying. These kind of people is, you know what I'm saying, littered throughout the country in positions of power. People who go after young black girls for sex, and people who frame black men. And you telling me that we don't need to be repaired from that? This is just one of the many elements of WS society. This is just one of the many elements of it, but it's a very much of a prevalent element of that society, man. So it's just detrimental, man. The conduct of this man is detrimental. How could you possibly, if you're young black, how could you possibly have any trust in the police unit when they, like I said, I did anything that's the government got, you know what I'm saying, any other program, school or whatever, how can you trust any of the shit? I just did a story the other day where the teacher, a school teacher openly admitted that he's a white supremacist. Now you got this man doing all this kind of shit right here. Like, this shit is littered throughout the system, man. The shit is littered throughout the system. But anyway, I'm not about to try to go on no long rant. I just want to bring this story, bring attention to this story, because I just stumbled across it. I didn't know anything about it. Anyway, let me know how you feel about it. It's your man, Ocean, omnnetwork. Thank you very much. Like, subscribe, share my video, leave a comment, let me know, you know what I'm saying, what your personal feelings on this case, and come back again. We'll do this shit again. I'm out.